Good afternoon, pool fans. My apologies for the delay. Had some issues with the technicalities, but you should be hearing me right now. My name is Arya, as I will be talking to you, well, I should say midpoint right now, to this match. We have our local hero, Mark Bijsterbosch, former European champion, versus Adrian Pollard. 3-all, all to play for. We're here, of course, in the northern eastern side of the Netherlands, in this gorgeous venue, as immaculate as always by Predator, what we've come to used to by now. Of course, if you're a pool fan, this man in your screen needs no introduction. As you can see, he's a very instinctive player, and I think it's a very important trait to have as a sports person, because although there are different sides of the coin, but if you're on the side of the methodical, sometimes that can a little bit get in your way, while you tend to abandon your instincts, whereas I feel the very best sometimes they just wing it and they just trust their instincts. And well, one thing can definitely be said about Mark Bijsterbosch. He is a very instinctive player and he relies on his instincts all the time, and which has brought him great success over his illustrious career already. Unfortunately, as always, when you're running out of position and you have to jump subsequently, that's one of the things that tends to happen a lot. Mark needs to be a little bit careful here to play position on the 6. Ideally wants to leave himself past the middle line just to be absolutely sure. Doesn't want to flirt with the 9 there. Yeah, that 9 is, well, it's a full ball hook now. And he's missed, well, he's hit the 6, but that cue ball is never going to reach a rail, so that's ball in hand now. And having had scratched just moments ago, I would imagine Adrian is delighted with this outcome. Something you don't really see that often at the highest level. And make no mistake, both of these gentlemen are at the top of the game. But when you leave your opponent in with a chance, particularly with a ball in hand, it's a rare occasion where you get back to the table within 2 or 3 shots. So that's a reprieve. Just needs to make sure of this 9 here. Once again, Mark Bijsterbo's trying to attempt a kick shot, but so far the kick shots have really proven costly for him. Adrian choosing to keep it simple here. Didn't have a lot of angle on the 3 there, so made sure he left himself a nice easy putt here on the 4. And I think he's got the right angle to go away from the rail, just like that. And the pace seems to be lovely on his cue ball. He seems to be okay, but as you could see, there was a lot that could have gone wrong in that shot, and all things considered, he could even consider himself a little bit fortunate there. Negotiated the 6 well though, so just a matter of keeping his focus and connect the dots here. Couple of uncharacteristic mistakes by Mark. Yet to find his groove. Well, the good thing of you know, when you're talking or when you're trying to decode Mark Bijsterbo's as a player, he's such a fast scorer and a fast player overall. So even though if he goes behind a couple of racks, within minutes he can turn over the deficit because he's that quick and efficient in his problem solving at the table. So needs to come up with an answer here. Doesn't want to let Adrian get too far ahead of him. Again, another mistake by Mark. Well, obviously, there should be no surprise if he was to attack the 2, in which pocket he's trying to putt this to. It's all about trying to figure out the pathway of the cue ball. Now if the cue ball, well, so much so he didn't fancy the positional side, I'm sure he would fancy the putt there. And all things considered, he's definitely found the hook, as was the case with the difficulty degree of the kick shot, and there you go, the cue ball just follows the 2. That is quite extraordinary if you consider how many balls the cue ball just failed to make contact with and drop in the center pocket. That's very unfortunate. But I was about to say the safety Adrian played. Of course, it was sufficient enough, but in all fairness, the kick wasn't that difficult. The other thing, all these players, particularly in the first 2 days, maybe 3 days even, that comes into the equation is the cloths and the cushions being brand new. So the table usually reacts a little bit different further down the week, where you get a bit more grip, whereas now they tend to slide, and sometimes, as you would see in the beginning games, the opening games, it will catch the player off in the positional side of the game, which has happened in this match. But Adrian once again in a great position to extend his lead. Two-thirds on his way to upset one of the home favorites. Both players getting 2 breaks each on their innings, so maybe a bit early to say, but on the other hand, I would think it's fair to say this is one of those racks where Mark really cannot afford to lose. Needs to stay close with his opponent to keep himself in contention. Don't know whether he's got a slight angle here on the 6. Yeah, you see he had. This is what I mean with how fast he can overturn the scores. I'm not keeping a time, but I would estimate that rack didn't last longer than 3 minutes. And that's one of his main weapons, of course, aside from all the other ones. And I haven't even started about his break, but yeah, he's still behind. And Adrian, he's got a great chance if he can convert his next 2 breaks to put himself on the hill. And yeah, from that point on forwards, you'd have to make him favorite, of course. Yeah, right from the get-go he really lost his cue ball. The cue ball actually went forward rather than into the side and, you know, up table. I mean, is it worth trying to go for the pot here off possibly 3 or 4 rails? Try to play some sort of a position on the 2. If I had to guess or bet, I would say you definitely favor the safety option here. Yeah, once again he's tried to for lack of a better word, pick out the most easy, straightforward safety, but as with that, even if you would have hooked him on the 7, again the kick shot would have been very easy for Mark. So much so he's actually left a pot and an angle to go towards the 2. Doesn't want to end up straight on this 2. Yeah, that cue ball just stopped in time. Can go around the back of these 2 balls here for the 3 and top right corner pocket. Yeah, in this occasion being straight on the 3 actually isn't too bad. Just needs to make sure he doesn't overdraw the cue ball back for the 5. See, the line he's got the cue ball, that's basically pretty much where he wants to end up on the 5, but maybe a bit higher towards the first diamond below the center pocket. Just gives him a bit more options in the positional side of the shot. Just like that, can come off 2 rails, up table for the 7. Just like that. So that was a nice quick counter there by Mark. He's hoping to maybe nick another rack here of the second break of Adrian to tie the scores. And of course, if you're Adrian right now and you've just seen your opponent dish up in lightning time, you're desperately trying to hold on to the lead you had. Yeah, funny enough, once again, he's completely lost his cue ball. But in an odd way, it's landed perfect. I mean, if you look at the layout, all the balls are spread nice and even. And this opening shot on the 1, really, it's something you would expect majority of these participants to pot, really, at this level. You can nicely cue this as well. Doesn't need to hold back. Now, this one positional shot is probably the key shot in this rack. Well, obviously all of them are important, but he doesn't want to leave himself a odd angle here on the 3. So from where I'm sitting, I would say this one positional shot could be the beginning of the end of this rack. And although that might look a bit thinner than you would like or prefer on the 3, I think he's got a lot of space on the left side of the table. So if he can get enough bite in his cue ball here, he should be able to hold his cue ball for the 6. A lot of draw, just like that. Yep. And having said that, yeah, I think he can still create some sort of an angle. It does seem like he's absolutely straight. Yeah, just enough. Didn't overdo it as well. Made sure he would land on the thin side of the 7. Yeah, it's could have done with a few inches more there on his cue ball. Once again, it's not one of the shots that you'd expect your opponent to miss, but I mean, one thing can be said for sure, didn't want to leave himself a harder shot on the 9 than was required. Nevertheless, pots it safely. Remains in front, 7-5 up now, which would also mean that next time he gets to the table and gets to break twice, in theory he's always got the chance to run this match out. So yeah, you would think for Mark these next 2 racks are a must win just to keep his hopes alive. Sometimes, maybe this is sounding a little bit technical, but if you pay close attention to the break and you follow the cue ball, that already is a great indication how thick, full on they're trying to hit the first ball. And in this occasion, Mark's cue ball went below the middle diamond on the bottom side rail. So that already is telling you he's hit the one a lot thinner than probably would have liked, so, and that's one of the reasons he's, well, you could also consider him a little bit unfortunate, because the couple of balls really threatened to drop, but that usually is the solution for this outcome. Nearly potted the 9, or fluked the 9 I should say. That would have been a double dagger to the heart for Mark. He's got good options here on the kick shot. Yeah, not surprised here. That's why I also said he's got good options there on the kick shot. A lot of positive things that could have happened. Because there are so many balls in the way, this was always likely to happen. Or even better, he could have potted the 2. Yeah. I wouldn't really advise you to swerve around the 5, particularly in the opening day. But who am I? What a great shot that was by Adrian, by the way. Don't know whether he can avoid running into the 9. That seems to be, and that's presuming the 3 passes the 5. I think it does. No, it didn't. So safety was the order of the day, and I think he's done well there. Yeah, well maybe no. So Marcus gone back to his chair, getting the jump cue out. Jump bank. 1, 2. Take a note of. That's the thing with instinctual players. They can sometimes solve a puzzle within one shot, one great jump bank, and next thing you know he's running the table. You just can't help to think to yourself, surely I didn't do too much wrong to deserve to be in this position, but that's the X factor the elusive X factor we sometimes talk about in sports. Mark Bijster was with a golden break. Once again, his cue ball went a bit lower on the diamond there, but as is the case with 9-ball and has ever been, whoever manages to put the 9 legally first gets to win the rack. And what a quick turnover of the 2 breaks Mark had. Adrian surely must be thinking to himself, what has happened within the last 5 minutes? He was 6-3 up, and within 20 minutes it's already 7-all. Race to 9, all to play for. Yeah, and that is a dry break, I believe. Yep. Now, the only good thing, of course, for Adrian is not left Mark with a straightforward shot, opening shot. He's too far away with the 1-ball to try and play this softly. Just roll it. Well, he did try to roll, but he also was implementing a lot of side spin, and the softer you play the shot over a longer distance, it tends to curve, just like with a masse shot, although that is a bit more exaggerated, of course, because the cue is jacked up, but it's the same principles. I must say, I'm very surprised that he's left himself so straight on the 3. And he managed to draw his cue ball back enough just to get to the putting angle on the 4, but this is far from ideal. I mean, he's left himself a lot of distance between the cue ball and object ball. Yeah, he's lost his cue ball. And now to keep this visit at the table going, he needs to come up with a spectacular recovery shot, I have to say, because it seems like the 5 does pass the 9 in the bottom right corner pocket. But that would also mean a couple of things. First, the pot is not a 100% guarantee, and also it needs to at least run into 2-3 rails. Or is he going for the cutback? It's looking like he's going for the cutback around the table, around the back of the 8 and the 9, and what a gorgeous shot that is by Adrian. When it comes to recovery shots, that's one of the sweetest hit recovery shots you would ever wish to see. Needs to make sure He judges the pace on this 7 to the 8. Yeah, that seems to be lovely. What a great shot he's pulled out there from the 5 to the 6. So this match is really turning up after such a great comeback and a golden break by Mark Bijsterbosch. Adrian pulls out a magnificent recovery shot and retains one of his 2 breaks. Pivotal moment in the match now. Of course, Adrian on the hill. Yep, this time with a lot fuller contact on the 1. Now, considering his angle on the 1 here, surely the next shot would be the combination on the 2 and the 9. So within 2 pots, he could, and maybe even, dare I say, should finish off this match. Adrian. So basically, you're trying to get your cue ball center table, right in the middle of the table. Just needs to avoid running into the 5 here. And if that cue ball stops in time, which it has done, I mean, it's about as good as he could have left himself on this combination. So, like I said, within 2 pots, this match will be over if he puts this 2 on the 9 combination. Yeah. What a moment to produce his best break of the match. And as you can see there, the reaction of the British player, delighted with that win, as he should be. Mark, one of the home favorites, but stay tuned as we have a lot of action coming your way. For now, bye, and see you back in the next match.
Good day everybody and welcome to the Predator EuroTour Dutch Open. Live from the Bonte Wever Hotel in Assen. You're watching Riotski versus Victor Futunski. Futunski, you can see now wrecking the balls. My name is Pascal de Smit. I will guide you through this match as good as I can. And it's the winner's round one still. A race to 9, and we have an alternate break after 2 breaks. So each player can break 2 times in a row, win or lose, and then hands over the break to his opponent. So first the young Victor. Controlled break. 3 balls over the head string. We're playing with the 3-point rule, which means 3 balls needs to go over the head string for a legal break, or every potted ball counts as a ball over the head string. Oh, that was a nice kiss. Nice first shot. Wow. Some early jibbers. First round action. TV table. It's not easy. So he would have liked a bigger angle or to be straighter. So now I think he has to draw into the 4. Oh, he tried to hold it. Left the cut shot. Pocket is a little bit bigger and the cue ball position is pretty automatic. Watch out for the 6 though, but looks as a good chance. Key shot. Well, he went in between the pocket and the 5. Found the point. So, good chance for York. Battle of generations, it feels like. I'm not sure what the age difference between the 2 players is, but it's pretty nice to see the different styles. You see Victor play, it looks very textbook how we, well, are used to see players these days play. But here we see York with a much smaller grip, or smaller, shorter grip. Still very effective. A little bit tricky 9 though. Oh, just got the point. Yeah, he's not happy. Tough shot for Victor. made that look pretty easy. So, great 9-ball for opening rack for Viktor Futunski. Not to be mistaken, of course, with Viktor Zielinski and the other Futunski. We have Mieszko. Oh, if his name is a combination of these two players and his skills are gonna head that direction, then well, this young man has a bright future. The Polish came with a lot of great players in the last 10-15 years. So Viktor here, part of the new generation. Legal break, made a ball. Nothing easy to begin with. That's just too hard. You can drop it in, leave the cue ball for the combination on the tree, or cross over. Just a little bit too short. Oh, and then leaving the billiard combination option is, well, I don't know if you can say unlucky. I feel like it's a little bit unlucky if it really goes. On the other hand, you know you're playing the 2-ball close to the 9. It looks on though, it really looks on. Just too thick. So in the end, good decision. Nice bank, but tough position on the tree. Not only making, but avoiding the 5 and the 4. Great job. I have to say, these two shots looks promising. So 2 balls left to open his account. And there we go, 1-1. And it looks like this could be an interesting match. A battle between generations. Could be a poster. So the table is tapped. So in case you're wondering, Where is the magic rack or the normal wood rack? Well, the tables are tapped and they did a really good job doing it as far as we can see. So next 2 breaks for Riotski. 1 ball down inside, 2 balls over the head string, legal break. Got a shot on the 2. Is the 5 available? I think so. In the lower right corner. Tough opener though. And this can be, with these long shots with the outside spin, it's sometimes on a new table a little bit hard to predict how much deflection is gonna be in the shot, how much the cue ball is gonna deflect. We saw that here. Just misjudged that a little bit. Well, some showcasing of cue power. Can he bump into the 7 maybe? Leave a shot on the 5 in the middle or in the corner? So, in the chat already some Polish flags waving. Nice to see. So, if the angle is a little bit too big, then it's a little bit tricky with the 8 ball. So, he's going to play safe, I think. Yeah. Nice decision making. Well, he didn't needed a lot of time to see that angle. Great hit. The bank shot is there if he likes it. And he did. So we need some cue power again. Inside spin, 2 rails. For 7 in the lower right. Good line. Good pace. A little bit lower would have been easier, but I think you can just stun over for the 8 in the side or in the upper left. Well, I have to say both players look pretty good. Interesting to see how this match will unfold. So 2-1 in favor of Viktor Futunski, who now has to wait again because of the alternate break after 2 breaks. So normally it's alternate break after 1 break. So now you can break 2 times in a row, win or lose. You can at least have 2 breaks in a row. So there we go. It's about holding serve. So if York could get this rack, well, then it would be a race to 7. With Viktor starting. Ooh. Wow. I think he kind of tried to spin that in, and I think he thought it would throw more. Got more throw off the cue ball into the 2. And on your club table, a lot of times that does work, but on these newer conditions, you have to play it a little bit thinner. Going airborne. Oh, great effort. I think if you look at how he reacted, it's pretty straight. Maybe with even a line into the scratch. Oh, he did avoid it, and look at what a result. And he's starting to look more comfortable. It's probably something York would also see. Needs to watch out for. So 3-1, 1/3 of the match is already done for Viktor. So one ball down. I think this is an illegal break. So for the people new to the rule, he needs to have 3 balls over the head string, or at least every ball you pot is counted as a ball over the head string. And if it's an illegal break, control passes to your opponent. So now Victor, he did make a ball on the break, but it was an illegal break. Ooh. And well, this was an opportunity for York. I have to say the 7 is still a little bit tricky, close to the 9. Also in this situation, the cue ball going into the 8. Watch out for the scratch. Think he can avoid the scratch. Wow. But also avoided the pot, so give the chance for York Riotski. Plays it with inside spin, kissing the 8 ball in front of the 4. That's a little bit unfortunate. Oh, that was a nice combination. Safety. Stick to the 9. He would have liked to float that cue ball just against the 9, but still not an easy escape. When the cue ball is that close to the rail, it's easy to misjudge. So good enough, but we still have the 7, which, well, unless you want to play the combination, no guarantees that when you open it up that you will leave a shot for yourself. From this point of view, you can see you can play below the 7, leaving a little bit of a cut shot. It looks like that's available. Oh, he's looking for the combination. They are pretty close to each other, so it is doable, but wouldn't say easy. He does have a nice position for the shot though. Oh, that was very clean. 4-1. And Victor is starting to look comfortable and also pretty solid. Worrying signs for York Riotski. So had an illegal break in the previous rack. Maybe breaking a little bit harder now. Nice break. Does he have a clear look at the 2? From this point of view, it looks as if the 6 is blocking, at least for a part. Then of course we have the 3-5. stuck. So no easy layout. Unless you can really see it, but from this camera angle you can see it's definitely not makeable directly. Not sure if you can even see an edge. So push out. How far did that stuck out? Is that makeable? Well, it looks like it's makeable. Going long rail for position. How's the pace? It's too hard. Good hit. Good shot. Yeah. See the tap on the table. Recognition. Oh, that's a pretty long jump. Very nice hit. But I think he left the shot. Wow. Close. Didn't leave anything. Is there a gap? Oh, he's looking at the two-rail escape. Cue ball is good. Oh, very nice shot. Going 2 rails, 3 in the middle of the table. Oh, and also got the kiss. So open table for Victor. Who is probably very happy that the 5 kissed the 3 out. So now there's only a few open shots. Still has to make them, of course, but well, it doesn't look as if this young man is gonna miss a lot of balls in the open, where in the beginning we saw a few misses. He looks very focused and in flow, maybe even. Of course, the score will help. So halfway for Victor. York in the beginning needs 2 break and runs. That's the maximum he could get in his turn now. And then a try break doesn't help. So push out. Oh, I think he was a little bit cheeky there by playing a safety with the 9 combination in mind. But the focus should have been the cue ball. And maybe was a little bit too much focused on the 1. So has to watch out. If he plays this a little bit too thin, he can draw this into the side. Oh, decided to accept the cut shot on the 3. Smart, if he has the shot, of course. Looks like it. Well, left himself pretty long, so big stroke needed. This is missable. Wow. Did he leave something? Nice effort, but would be something. Is the 4-9? Is there a combination to the corner? No, if it wasn't, he would have played it harder. So, chance to get back into the match. You can see York used to play with a lot of spin. So he's used to hit the ball a little bit thicker and then play with a lot of spin to throw it into a little bit of a bigger angle. Great pot. He needed this rack big time. So can float it in with left spin or go up and down. Well, he tried to float it in with left spin, but I think because of the elevation, because he was a little bit cueing over the 9, it swerved to a much thinner hit. So here comes York with his last chance, maybe, to really get back into the match. Needs this 9. Great shot. 5-2. So still in the match. 6-1 or 5-2. Big difference in a race to 9. So with the 5-2 instead of 6-1, he now has another break to try at least to get the 5-3. So legal break, open table, no clear shot on the 1. Jump shot is doable. Oh, he doesn't need a lot of time, this man. Oh, great cue ball and great object ball. Is he going for the C shot? He is. That would have been epic. The shot we know so well from the Color of Money match between Efren Reyes and Earl Strickland. But not this time. Oh, can assure you a lot of times when people try it, it doesn't succeed. So draw shot for the 5 in the upper right, and if he can hold the shot, well, he could even play with a little bit of left to play it for the to have more options, but he's going inside. Yeah, he's feeling good. So 6-2, and now it's Viktor Futunski with the next 2 breaks. So if he can break and run, or at least win both, then he's already on the hill. Huge pressure on York in that case. Oh, good shout in the chat. Of course, a lot of the top players are playing in the World 10 ball. So much pull. I do have to say that, well, I think it's also nice, but that's my personal opinion, that maybe for once in EuroTour it maybe opens up for some new experiences for, well, young players to maybe go deep, just to gain that little bit of experience. But of course, it's always nice to watch the big names, the familiar faces. Still, don't be surprised if you see some real quality matches. There are a lot of players competing in this EuroTour who are maybe not the familiar faces, but are very, very dangerous. So really appreciate you guys at least joining in the stream and in the chat. And while you're at it, don't forget to subscribe to the Pro Billiard TV channel. Help us grow the game. So 7-2 was some quick work for the young Victor Futunski. Who can now rack the balls and break to get on the hill. Well, York is probably, or should be, telling himself at least try to keep him from the hill till you get to at least 5 or 6. Then you can still apply some pressure on him. Legal break, but no shot on the 2. So push out it is, leaving the long gut shot. And of course the safety is there, but with the distance it's not guaranteed. So a little bit of a 50-yard line angle, and of course hampered by the 5. Wow. Oh, made that look very easy. Tells you something. This young man is in stroke. feeling the speed of the table, confident. And he has all the shots and the big stroke, as you can see. Well, in a blink of an eye, he cleared the table. Viktor Futunski on the hill, 8-2. So he knows that even if Jörg would break and run the next two, he gets 2 breaks. And maybe even more after that. So if he keeps playing well, he should be pretty sure of the win. So first key shot on the 1 made it. Then the only tricky shot is the 5. So the 5 does go in the left middle pocket. So if he can leave some kind of an angle to play for that, or in the upper right. Oh, in the right center is also available. If he just lands below the 9, for example, or bumps into the 9 even. But I think he got a pretty nice line. Well played. Played it with confidence, sorry. So 2 balls left for a place in the next round and for Jörg to go into the losers round. Wow, Viktor played very good throughout the whole match. And there's the 9 for a 9-2 win for Viktor Futunski over Jörg Riotski. Well, thank you all for watching. Stay tuned for a lot of more pool to come today. This is it for now, and don't forget to subscribe to the Pro Billiard TV channel. My name is Pascal de Smit. Thanks for watching and see you soon.